And next up in presentations is Robert Jordas, who is actually pioneering vertical farmer in Roppe's Lilla Trädgård. I actually happen to know Robert from my working life, and I have visited his facilities in was it Loviisa or Lapinjärvi, sorry. About yes, so Robert is presenting us about what are the challenges and possibilities in vertical farming.
Yes, thank you. Usually it's better to do everything without any slides.
So sorry about that.
So yeah, so for this occasion I'm just using another slide. I couldn't be here with you together with you in the discussion here early in the morning, but now I'm here, so you can please inform me about the discussions what you have had here earlier. So then I also maybe can make some comments on that. But yeah, this Robert's Little Garden is our company's name. So we are gardeners. We are growing herbs and lettuce and microgreens for both the restaurant sector and supermarkets in Finland, and also some vegetables goes on export to Sweden. So yes, and this is important to remember, we are gardeners. That is our business. We grow things. We are not a technology company. We are not so to say supplying company. We are more kind of consultant service providing company. Well, we always start with our dreams, so this is how I work every day. I have some kind of imagine in my head. I'm dreaming. I'm running around, and then I make it to be a plan, and from a plan I make it to be reality. So it's very simple. This is the way it always works. I hope you have realized that. So we always start from that. So now this is actually what we are, in a way, not only dreaming about. This is already more than a plan. We are already making it a reality. So here you see these jokers, harlequins jumping around, and possibly we can have these small little gardens everywhere in the world in the future. And this is our promise. We grow vegetable. Once again, we are gardeners. We promise the same top quality everywhere in the world. And that's quite a big promise, isn't it? So how on earth can you grow something and have a control over it anywhere in the world? And that's a good question. So, and that's really so to say a big challenge for us. So we need the good technology. We need the right kind of concept. We need the right kind of methods to do this, and we also need the right kind of partners to get to this result. But after dreams and plans, you have to do it. So we are more, yes, I dream a lot and I have crazy plans, but we are also doing things. So we built this first vertical garden 2.5 years ago, and without really knowing what we are going into. We had just a kind of vision of what it could be. But we also had good Excel sheets that showed that, yeah, this might be a really good thing, a really efficient way to produce lettuce, herbs and microgreens. So we didn't want to plan anymore, so we just started to build, and we built a site which is 500 square meters big. The floor area is only 150 square meters, and it's a completely closed environment, and so with completely closed we mean that we create our own environment. We control heat, we control light, we control humidity. For the plants we control water and we control the nutrients. And with all this information, and actually with the information based on our experience from the past, from greenhouse growing, from hydroponic growing in the greenhouse, a normal greenhouse, we use that information and implement it on the vertical farm. And we got quite good results. Maybe, yes, here we have some results. Yeah, here's a lot of numbers, and it might be boring, but this is quite important numbers. And when I'm speaking of the whole concept, we also have to prove the concept working. And actually this is a thing what we can discuss later if we have time, really, how these vertical farms projects are presented nowadays. Or last year they were really presented in a so to say world-saving way. But as dull and boring Finns, we all know that that's not our style here in Finland. We have to base our information and our facts on really knowledge what is really studied and really has a background. So yes, there was the size of it. 200 micromoles means the light levels. They are really important to have a efficient growth. And we use so to say quite high light levels. We use a lot of light. Actually, the crops what we are cultivating can produce green mass even 24 hours a day. So this is when we create actually the perfect climate for the plant, it can keep on growing or producing green mass. We use water-cooled LEDs, and I have on the next slide. I have the explanation of the climate system. We use water-cooled LEDs, and this way we can take use of the energy and the heat what we actually create in the closed environment. You might think that LEDs don't produce that much heat, but actually they do. They do produce a lot of heat. So they produce over almost 70 watts per square meter. Make that in 4 layers or 8 layers. So on 1 square meter you have a lot of extra heat, what you need to deal with. And but this, yeah, we need a certain temperature for the growing climate. We need a cooling system. We need a dehumidification system. And interesting here, no heating. So these plants grow without any extra heating system. The LEDs produce all the heat what the plants need, and we actually are heat producers. The growing chambers, the growing areas are producing heat. So that's quite interesting. And for us, for Robert's little garden, it's quite a nice neighbor. To have a vertical farm as a neighbor is quite nice, because we have a lot of greenhouses. And greenhouses, they need a lot of heat. So we use that heat what the vertical farms produce. We use it in the greenhouse. Some test results. Well, in the beginning we couldn't find the really perfect way to grow, but we found out quite a few interesting things. We find out that when we have a good quality and a good speed in the growth. We realized that, well, we can achieve this kind of yield and quality every day. So anything from the outside affecting the growth doesn't matter anymore, because it's a complete closed environment, it's a complete controlled environment. So we can tell our customers that this is the way it's going to be. This is the setup, this is our input, and this is what you will harvest after 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 5 weeks, depending on what kind of plant you are growing. So this was really interesting. And this is in a way changing agriculture business. This is changing the way you can think of agriculture. When you speak of agribusiness, you always take into consideration the sun and the changes in the weather, the climate change and things like that. Water, outside factors that actually you can't so to say predict on your own. One detail and actually according to our studies before we built the vertical farm, we knew this, that the yield will probably be around 20 to 30% higher, because the higher CO2 and the fully control of CO2, only that one. But combining that with the high light level, combining it with the CO2 and the full control of humidity and heat, we actually received a 40% better yield. And that's not normal in agribusiness. But the most interesting detail was actually we got a better taste, a stronger taste in all the herbs. So that was very interesting. And it was in a way a bit of luck, because we made the right kind of combination of blue and white light in the LEDs for the herbs. So we got a good taste and a good high oil level in the herbs. But these are also things what we are now studying more, testing more, and of course it's a long journey to find out what all you can do with the fully controlled environment. Yeah, so these were the observations. Better shelf life was also an interesting thing what we could find out. Here's something about a picture from Novarbo Oy from the Biolan company. So for being able to control the climate completely, we need to have automation system that controls the hardware, and the LEDs are cooled. Maybe this one is working now. Well, you see where the plants are, and the LEDs, the violet strips above the plants over there, and then you have the water cooled system, the yellow, and taking it into the cold water basin and pumped up again. And then we use the Novarbo dehumidification system, which is actually a droplet, a shower system that we cool down the water, and the humid warm air condensates on these small water drops. And this is a really efficient system, and the COP is really high in this system. And energy storage, in our case, we don't store the energy, we use it right away in the greenhouse. Well, this is maybe a bit fuzzy. In theory, there's a lot of discussion about water usage in agriculture business. I think Jyrki Jalkanen tweeted here a few days ago about how many liters one orange uses. Was it 50 liters water is used for producing one orange, and and then you actually throw away, was it 30% of that. And then you take a tomato, you use in Finland around 1.5 liters to produce one tomato. To produce, this is again theory. In theory, because I haven't proven it yet, in theory, for producing 100 grams of lettuce, you need 100 grams of water plus the water what is contained in the roots and in the pot. That's quite amazing, isn't it? So we reuse all the evaporation water coming out from the plant again into the irrigation system. I haven't proven it yet, so this is just my dream again. So yeah, some pictures from the now the large scale system. So this was a 500 square meter system. What we started with this year, we finalized our project with a 4,600 square meter system. Now we made everything better. We automized it. We made the gutters moving in a better way. We don't work anymore in the actual farm. So we take out the gutters, or they come out by elevators automatically out from the growing area. We have a handling area where we process them, and this way everything is made much more efficiently. And yes, these are proven numbers. We can produce 100 kilograms per square meter per growing square meter. So the building size for this 5,660 square meter, it's and that's in 5 layers. Yes, that's 1,600 square meters. So on 1,600 square meter, you can produce 570,000 kilograms of salads. So the numbers are good, and they need to be good, because we are a small company, and we are a Finnish company, so we always use the word järkevä, reasonable. So we need to have good proofs of the working system. We don't want to, so to say, speak about saving the world with vertical farming. That is not the way to present the systems to the world. We want to speak about reality. We want to speak about what the market really needs when it comes to lettuce, herbs, and microgreens, baby leaf lettuce. And we want to speak about local farming. For local farming, we also see that there's another kind of level, the social level, which is really important when we speak about food producing anything you eat, anything you put in your mouth. You need who is doing it. You need to know the farmer. You need to know the grower. You need to exactly know the process, where it's coming from, how it's treated. And this is really important, and this we only achieve if we are producing it locally. And that's why we want to always be a local player, never driving around in the world with our lettuce. So, thank you. That was mine.
Joo. Tulee kysymyksiä.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, questions then. Please, here from here.
Sorry if I missed some point because I was tweeting Interested in two things. How sensitive is the kind of cost level of your produce to energy prices, like electricity? And do you do or have you considered using CO2 fertilization?
Yes. The biggest costs are labor. Labor force is the biggest cost.
Jobs.
And always it says that it's fully automated, but it's almost fully automated. There's a lot of packing, a lot of processing. But actually, the plants are the three main costs that we are able to so to say discuss are labor, energy, and investments costs, and that's about it. So, but what comes to energy, yes, it uses quite a lot of energy. The same amount of energy that a normal modern greenhouse in Finland is using. And this is again very local, a local thing that for example in Dubai you need to cool down your greenhouse year round. So then you have the question: is it clever to cool down a greenhouse and then and shade it down, or you actually take in the sun and then you block it out in a way? So is that clever? We are actually at the moment we are doing energy research for our system. So I don't have the numbers, the clear numbers, and we have to remember that when I get the numbers, they are Finland specific.
Over there.
Have you thought about integrates? Kind of integrates, it's integrated in greenhouse, and let's say a kind of bioplant, like for example biogas plant, because the biogas plant is producing CO2 as a byproduct, and also this kind of byproduct can also produce heat. So I think there are some kind of integrates already globally, but have you thought about this?
Yeah, it's quite interesting, yes, because I need the CO2, I produce the products, but I also produce quite a lot of green mass from the pots and the cuttings and the roots what we put in the compost. We don't need any heat, we produce heat, but we need electricity, so a biogas plant could produce electricity for us. And yes, these are really fascinating things. I think it's always for a farmer fascinating to be independent in somehow and so to say work together with the nature, how you can survive on your own farm and produce what you need for the production on your own. So but no, at the moment we are, so to say, the greenhouses are our best partner, and then again for the vertical farm the product flows are our good partner, and then we are organic farmers for the fields only. So for that we create a lot of compost material. So, but it's interesting.
One more from the back. Sorry, Janne.
These plant varieties that you farm with the vegetable farms are mostly like things that add flavor and taste in your food, but they're not calorie rich products that have things like so can you use the same principle in farming calorie rich? I mean, solve the food problem.
No, it wouldn't be clever. We use that much energy for producing this, so to say, nutrient-rich, nice things to have on your plate things. But no, we cannot solve the food problem in the world. We cannot produce proteins in a clever way or in a cheap way. We cannot produce sugar. We cannot produce fat. We could produce pea shoots or bean shoots with a protein level of 2 grams per 100 gram, 2%, 2 to 3%. But well, that's something. But I think Valio knows the numbers what the real high protein products are. So they are a bit higher than 2 or 3%. The good thing with vegetables and proteins is that there's no calories. So, and that we all like. So we could eat a lot of pea shoots, a lot of lupine or bean shoots, and we get some protein, but we get no calories.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And please try out Robert's products. I can truly testify that they taste really good, and it's really strong taste. So you might ask Robert that where to get them.